his objective was, which is, completely outrageous just for that. But the unintended consequences, we had Samaj Van Zant, the pastor of the Christ Experience, speak as to the unintended effect that this would have on the minority, black population, Hispanics, anybody that the police might target out in public for, basically for whatever reason they wanted to target you.
I mean, just another reason to profile.
Right, and like he said, those police aren't going to be profiling people on the, on a college campus. They're going to be harassing minorities in neighborhoods that they,
Like they really need another reason to.
Exactly. Exactly. That bill was just over the top in so many ways. Yeah. And it did become kind of the symbol of, a lot of the outrageous stuff that came out of the session.
It kind of turned, at least for a little while, Oklahoma, nationally anyway, kind of into this big joke.
Right. There is a joke going around here that Oklahoma seems to always be in the news for the wrong reason.
Right.
And it's unfair because there's such a small group of people making the rest of us freedom-loving, people-loving, citizens look bad. Yeah.
That's funny. So, the people that were attending, either as spectators or possibly the legislators that ended up in the area, ended up present at the time. What kind of reaction did you get from people?
I never talked to anybody that day or before that wasn't on board with our message and on board with the whole idea of calling legislators out for this kind of stuff. We didn't actually have, that I know of, any legislators outside. We knew that that was probably going to be the case. We chose opening day, which was, and our rally took place outside while Mary Fallon was giving her State of the State address inside, and most of them were in there listening to her. So, that was fine with us. We were talking to the people, and the conversation we wanted to get out there was with the people.
Right.
So, and I kind of think it's my personal opinion that when people change and when people start asking the right questions, that legislators will follow. They'll follow our lead.
Yeah, you got to get the people engaged to get the legislators engaged.
Us talking to Sally Kern isn't going to change what she thinks. No. That wasn't part of our mission.
And quite frankly, anything you say to her, she isn't really going to care anyway because she's on her way out. She doesn't care.
Right. Right. Now we did have one bill that was particularly bad by John Bennett. Actually called him the week before and told him we were thinking about highlighting his bill as one of the worst, and he actually called me 9 o'clock that morning and told me he was going to pull the bill. Now I'm not trying to say he pulled the bill just because we were highlighting it, but I do think that legislators do tend to listen to people who are speaking in a reasonable manner and making sense and can say why this stuff is so bad, on principle.
So what was his bill?
He had a bill. It was HB 1323, and it basically codified an executive order that Mary Fallon, the governor, had issued back in 2011. She had created this thing, and it had just never actually been put into law. So he put it into law, and it was basically saying who has access to Fusion Center information. And the Fusion Center is something that the OSBI runs. It's a place where all law enforcement kind of collects information up in one spot. And John Bennett codified what she had said. So what was already taking place, he was going to put into law. And then he added this one little thing, which made it, as bad as what she did, made it, a whole lot worse, is that the legislator would have access to this information as well. So basically, any lawmaker, and what is there, 148 of them, 149 of them, would be able to look into your file.
Well, John,
now, for instance, this would give Sally Kern a way to look into Scott Hamilton's file. This would have given John Bennett the access to look into Adam Saltani's file. I mean, I mention those because they are two. They have obvious vendettas and out to get these groups and these people. So it was very bad. And like I said, he hasn't actually pulled it yet. I'm watching the bill to see if he's going to be a man of his word.
He's kind of made himself a target for the liberty, the real liberty crowd.
Well, he is a perfect example, though, of what I was saying earlier about how these people are so short-sighted. In his mind, he's thinking, I'm just going to give myself access to these, like the CARE organization, because I consider them terrorists, and I'm doing this and I'm meaning well and I'm solving a problem. But without, sticking his head up into the daylight and seeing the potential damage and harm and the growth of government, evil government, tyrannical government, that he is being a part of instigating. When I pointed that out to him on the phone, it was just, it's amazing because it's like, oh, well, I never thought of that, and I think that's why this conversation is so important to have. I think these people do not realize how their role in the evil that they are doing here. It's bigger than their little bigotries. That's bad enough. That they are doing untold evils that they don't even agree with. They just aren't realizing. Yeah.
So, I mean, it sounds like the WTF served its purpose, and it's successful in that. And is this? I think we've talked about this a time or two, but is this going to be like an annual event?
I think so. I think it was very successful. We've been kicking around a lot of ideas. We've got a lot of time, to perfect what we're doing. Mm-hmm. I think it would be a neat thing to do a lot of it online, to have those speeches from those 10 speakers, in video format where anybody can pull them up. And I mean, there was a lot of wisdom there that day. It was very inspirational.
If you've got audio versions of them that I can play on the show, I'd really like to
hopefully, I mean, there was, everybody's got that capability on their phone these days. Yeah. So I know there's a few things out there, but we didn't, it was one of the things that if we ever did this again, we would make an official attempt to capture the stuff. So, yes, forgive us. We're volunteers.
Oh, no, I know what you mean. So, it sounds like it was successful in serving its purpose, and you and the Oklahoma Libertarian Party have some more fun, important events coming up. The one that's coming up soon is a kind of a Muslim. I can't really call it a protest. Like
not on our part.
A rally in support of Oklahoma Muslims that will be taking place at the Capitol.
Well, in a way, it's not really a rally on our part. CARE, the Adam Saltani group we were talking about, they are sponsoring Muslim Day at the Capitol. There's a lot of misunderstanding about what that means. I've heard people say, well, why are we having Muslim Day? Well, we aren't having Muslim Day. Anybody can organize an event at the Capitol. It's the people's place. I mean, it's just like I did WTF. Homeschoolers are doing their thing. CARE is going to do theirs. Well, we, because they are one of the groups that is often targeted with hate, we have decided to make a stand with them. We have purchased pocket copies of the Constitution. It's bilingual. It's in English and Arabic, and we're going to craft a letter of support and hand those out to our legislators that day to try and bring their focus on the fact that these people are fellow Oklahomans and that they are citizens deserving of justice and liberty just like anybody else.
Well, right.
Now,
I mean,
the protest, right, the protest part's going to come from other people protesting all that good stuff I just said. There are actually people out there protesting that. So, we are also going to be there standing in the gap if that were to get ugly. And, hopefully it won't, but you don't know.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah, I mean, I actually went on that side and looked at some of the comments, and it's very hate-filled, and it's kind of shocking to me, actually. I'm a little naive when it comes to how horrible people can act when they're afraid.
Definitely. And as I was saying earlier, I mean, we just see it constantly here in Oklahoma, so it's almost like we're just bombarded with hate and
Yeah, exactly.
Somebody's got to be out there to kind of counter that hate.
Right. The voice of reason, the voice of, just humanity. I mean, I know that sounds dramatic, but just to say, what are you thinking? These people are our neighbors, and they're our friends. I don't know. Sometimes I'm speechless when I try to put into words what something so monumental as that, how we're even drawn in this day and age to do something like that. You would think we would have come further than that in all these years and all this history to learn from.
So who better to be the voice of reason than the libertarians?
Exactly, because we can speak about things that are going on in that Capitol, again, from a place of principle, from the common thread that runs through everything we talk about. We can focus the conversations on that. I think that's the only way that a representational government is going to work right. I honestly think that we have the only answers, and 2015 is going to be the year that the Oklahoma Libertarian Party in particular stops being ignored. We can't afford to be ignored anymore. People need to listen to us.
Right.
Go ahead.
These type of events are going to kind of further that effort.
Yes, we are still developing a vision. These things are popping up that we want to do. We are not a recognized party here, so, but that doesn't mean we don't want to be involved in elections. We're going to be, if we can't caucus and pick our own candidates, maybe we'll caucus and talk about everybody else's candidates. I say that and laugh, but we do have a voice and we do have a point of view, and it's important. And it's my hope that the Libertarian Party is in part of every conversation that concerns liberty here in Oklahoma.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me if after this year that happens, with all the hard work that's being done and the events that are being planned.
Right.
But on that note, it's time for us to go to break. So I wanted to thank you again, Tina, for coming on the show tonight. And
thank you for having me.
Yeah. Hopefully we can have you on again sometime and talk about more stuff going on with the Oklahoma Libertarians.
I like that. Thank you, Steve.
All right. Have a great day.
Bye.
All right, folks, we're going to go on break here. And when we come back, I'm going to kind of be off the political path. And we're going to be talking about some movies that are coming out this year. On that note, I'm going to go ahead and go to break. So